Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook video updated on Friday the 10th of November. A cold weekend ahead then, with some snow coming down to very low levels at times, strong gale force northerly winds, particularly during Sunday. And then we turn the wind flow back to the southwest into Monday with some milder air coming in, with a band of rain preceded by snow coming into the Highlands. A little bit less cold for a few days into midweek. We might be briefly quite a bit milder in the second half of the week. Looks unsettled towards next weekend. The question mark about whether cold air returns, indications do favour something colder as we head towards the end of November again. Now we're focusing attention in this video on the week ahead, but just briefly looking at the temperatures through this weekend. These are the 850 millibar temperatures, that's around 4,500 feet or so, and we've got values around -5, -6 across that height on Saturday, so that could correspond to the height of Ben Nevis Cairngorm Summit, for example. Through into Sunday, those values drop a degree or so, you're -6, -7 at that sort of height. Freezing levels down to say 400 or 500 metres in northern Scotland, and any snow showers, hail showers coming in will probably lie to almost Glen level away from the immediate coasts. Even any showers that get well into the Cairngorm is probably settling to very low levels. So a wintry picture this weekend. Bands of showers coming down into Wales too, and temperatures there low enough for them to fall as snow to pretty low levels across northern side of Snowdonia. Let's have a look at the charts for the new week then. Here's Monday. We've got high pressure across the country temporarily. That cold push of northerly air is being shoved away into the near continent, and we're seeing the wind flow coming back round as a southwesterly. Some cold air still in place though at this stage. The freezing levels only lifting very slowly, so initially that precipitation that comes into the West Highlands will be falling perhaps to fairly low levels as some snow, but gradually turning more and more to rain as time goes on. So that milder air getting in, temperatures probably lifting above freezing, may well continue to lift into the evening and the night after a cold start, and winds strengthening towards gale force. Timing a bit tricky, but just watch that deterioration of upland gales coming in across the Highlands. Across England and Wales, the deterioration is less marked, some lowering cloud and maybe some patchy rain coming on to western parts later in the day. Now it's all a little bit of a tangle into Tuesday. The remnants of those fronts drifting southwards, some rain and low cloud then may linger across Wales in particular, perhaps even into northwestern parts of England, across the lakes and Pennines. North of that, it looks as though those fronts may well have cleared, and across Scotland it may be largely a dry story. Some banks of low cloud, particularly in the west, with quite a slack westerly type of pattern, but the cloud base probably lifting, and a reasonable day in prospect, with winds looking as though they've dropped light by this stage. Temperatures a little bit milder, but I think still the higher tops in Scotland may not be too far above freezing. Just need to watch the details at this distance. Scotland stays in relatively cool air through into Wednesday. The milder areas to the south of that frontal zone across England and Wales. Again, it's dregs of rain and low cloud which will plague many western hills across Wales, perhaps into the Lake District, southwest Scotland too. Northern parts of Scotland the best favoured overall, with the flow looking like a gentle south-southwesterly. North of the Cairngorms, northwest Highlands, the far north, doing pretty well for bright skies and the highest cloud bases overall, but the western coasts, particularly if those fronts edge northwards, could just be filled in with a lot of low cloud. But it doesn't look like there's too much precipitation around, and generally winds looking fairly light. Tricky with the details through into Thursday. Fronts still trailing their way across the country, perhaps just intensifying for a time, so some more persistent rain may get going, but treat the detail on this chart with a lot of caution. We've got fairly mild air across much of England and Wales, but Scotland remains in somewhat cooler air, so it could be close to freezing on those higher tops, but I suspect most of the precipitation coming in will fall as rain, except on the highest summits. What about looking further ahead then? It looks as though towards next weekend, low pressure focus north of Scotland is going to bring more widely unsettled conditions, so the risk of some heavier rain, maybe mixed in with some snow, depending on just how high the freezing levels are. I think we're still into relatively cool air, and the risk of upland gales at times, if this chart is to be believed. Indications favour it going back towards a northwesterly again though, so it's that back and forth between slightly less cold and colder conditions coming in at times, so I suspect freezing levels will come back down again. And then as we just hint towards the later part of November, the idea suggests that low pressure becomes a sort of a slow-moving feature somewhere over central and southern Britain, with higher pressure towards the northwest of us, focused around Greenland and Iceland, which could start to usher in a much colder pattern with the air coming round from the north and northeast. Now, much could change with that one yet, but it's just the idea that towards the end of November, things could be a distinctly colder pattern. So stay right up to date with the very latest information in all the written files updated every day here at the Mountain Weather Information Service. We've also been trialling some short-range videos that have gone out on social media and our YouTube channel over the past few days. Thanks for all those who've given some feedback so far. We'll try and get these videos uploaded on the website very soon as well. We're just trying to give you that extra information, a bit more of a fuller picture of what's going on the mountains, both in the short range and also in the planning outlooks as well. So plenty more to come from our video content in the weeks ahead. Thanks for watching this today, and bye for now.